Lori Daybell is still her chipper little self, whether she's in court or getting booked into a jail, and we're going to talk about it in today's video. Hello Sofa Squad and welcome back to the sofa. The sofa's back here. Something's missing from it, you might be asking if you've been at the channel before, and that's Roscoe. He's being babysat right now. He's under a blankie sleeping. And my name's Paul if you're new to the channel. Now what we're going to be doing today is I got a bunch of DMs, a bunch of emails about this video clip. And so we're basically just going to be doing a very quick video kind of thing to talk about just thoughts, that type thing. And what this is about is Lori Daybell. Now we're actually going to look at two different clips. One of them is older. One of them is her getting booked into the Arizona. This came out recently. They're going through her laptop thing and all this type of stuff. Another one is her court date. Now this happened a minute ago, but I figured I would just tag them in because I never spoke to the other one. This is the thing, y'all. This is completely sofa opinion, unqualified body expert, petty talk, that kind of a thing, okay? Because the biggest thing that I got from most people was talking about like her smiling and laughing and her behavior. I ain't no doctor, ain't no lawyer, ain't no psychoanalyst, okay? Just a guy with a sofa and some opinions. So just keep that in mind as we talk about this. This is just kind of us sitting on the sofa talking about this smirkiness that she does. So that being said, if you want to follow me outside of YouTube, go on to the Instagram. Check it out. It's down in the description below, as well as my other channel. Now, it's thrown me off my little spiel that I do because Roscoe's so involved with it. I don't know what to say. I kind of miss the little tyke. I have to go get him from his little nap here momentarily after we record. So, if you have not followed this case, it's impossible to do a 60-second overview. It's so vast and so vile and so horrible. But Lori has been convicted and taking the life of her two children. And now she has moved on to, she's getting ready to go to trial for one of her former husbands, Charles Vallow. So, she's in Arizona. The first video we're going to be watching is them, like, again, going through her property and that type of stuff and booking her in. Now, one thing to keep in mind, first of all, a couple of things when we watch these clips is, number one, look at how many officers are present, okay? I would expect this in this high profile type stuff. Also, I do believe at some point he says it's after midnight, so maybe that's why it's not crowded, but to me, they've shut the whole thing down to book her in, which would probably be appropriate for such a high profile case like this. But let's go ahead and watch the first clip and then we'll talk about it.
So, remember, I kind of went over this with you. This is regarding your electronic items for your court documents. If you don't mind, we're going to be placing this into property as safekeeping, so you can release it to whoever you want to, legal, whatever. If you don't mind opening that, just so we can document what's inside.
Okay, now again, y'all, this is petty of me. First of all, when this case happened, I mean, this is years ago, right? She was the type that was probably doing Botox, this type of stuff. Obviously, they don't offer that in jail. And so, you know, she's looking like a normal person who ages, right? But it's just kind of jarring to see her to be like, whoa, you know, this is very different. I imagine she's very concerned with stuff like that. There's something about the look in her eyes whenever I see Lori. And this goes for Chad too, but there's something about, I don't know what it is, where I'm searching her eyes, I'm searching her demeanor for something, some form of humanness. Like I'm just looking for it and I never can find it, right? Because I'm just sitting here like, what is she thinking? All I think of when I see her are the two children. Charles obviously as well, right? I'm not trying to discount that or anything like that, but it's just the first thing that comes to my mind is the images of the two children. And so I'm searching her expressions over and all that for something, and she looks rough. I mean, there's no way to get around it. And there's something gone in her eyes, and I don't know another word to say for it. It's like she's lost. You know what I'm saying? Like just permanently checked out, right? Let's go look at the next clip. And what I'm going to do is this is going to be silent. So I'm just going to kind of talk over it as we watch it. So she's come up here. Now, here's the thing. She has this case, right? She's doing this little combo on here. Now, first of all, I'm thinking this, you know, it's Chad Daybell's birthday is the code, right? And I was like, God forbid if she's like, it's my baby's birthday, because I could see a monster like this doing that. But also interesting that she does this, she backs off, right? Okay, now let's talk about it for a second. I guess to me, I just was like, oh, she's allowed to have some kind of suitcase that only she knows the code to, that she's locking and doing all this kind of stuff. Now, obviously, they're getting ready to go through it and whatnot. Again, I don't know. I don't know all the legalities from state to state and how that works, but it's just kind of surprising to me. Now, let's watch the officer kind of go through this with her.
Looks like headphones, charging cable for the laptop. We have 2 hard drives with a connecting cable. Another connecting cable for, looks like, for the hard drives, is that correct? 2 flash drives. HP laptop. What was this here?
That was on the way. I think it's
I'll just,
that was
I'll just,
on the box on the outside and it fell off.
I'll just leave it in. It's no big deal. Okay.
Now, again, real quick, you see the guy standing next to her like this. The dude, he's being very professional, the cop who's going through the stuff. All the people in the background, and then she's standing there like this, you know, going through her stuff. Now, I guess, again, my first thought is I'm just like, she has all these cords, things that you could use to strangle yourself. You know, I'm just kind of surprised at this. But, I mean, again, I believe, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, that a lot of this is for electronic, what do you call it, evidence or things of this nature, right? I wonder how this works in prison with laptops and things like that. Is it a free-for-all? It would just be odd to me that the inmates could just, depending on the level, I guess, right? If you're someone who's doing that transitionary period of you're going out and working and coming back, like that kind of thing, work release, I could see, obviously, you're going to be doing this, right? Someone like Lori, who it's like, she ain't going nowhere, right? If anything, is she able to reach out to anybody she wants to on there? Or is she just strictly able to look at these documents? That type of stuff. I'd be very curious to know that. I think that it eats her up to have somebody going through her stuff, right? But it probably would most people. So let's look at this next clip.
And then you have some documents in here. These are notebooks. So you have another loose piece of paper. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing else in there, correct?
So again, he's being so nice and gentle and just, you know, very professional. And again, I'm looking at all the other people and I'm not trying to look at her as like, give her any kind of like, I guess it's infamy. Because she's such this bizarre figure to me that's almost, I mean, it is like this monstrous horror kind of a figure to me. So looking at the guards watching her, I'm like, that must be so surreal to be in her presence. Because in my world, I think she gives off, like, I'm imagining, I don't know, I've never met her, right? Or been in the same room with her. I'm imagining she gives off like a dark energy, like that kind of a thing, right? And I'm not trying to sit here and mimic her and Chad's little, you know, Richter scale of dark and light and all this, but like an evil vibe kind of a thing. Let's go on to the next clip.
Yeah, right. All right. I'll go ahead and have you reseal that for me. Okay. This here is going to be your document. You can have your signature there. This is going to have the date, today's date, 11:30, because it's now after midnight. That's going to be the report number, your name, your booking number, incident number, and then who I am. Okay? I'll just go ahead and have you sign right there for me.
Okay, so again, she runs over, she seals it up. And I was just thinking this when I was watching this clip of the people in the background watching, but they've probably seen it all, right? Because to me, I'm like, if I was them, I'd be looking at like, she did what to her kids? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's literally all I think of is that when I see her. I don't move past the images of the Chad's property and where the remains were found and the whole 9 yards. So that's the part where when I see people like the other officers and stuff interacting with her, where it's just like, you're interacting with someone who did that. You know what I'm saying? Whether she personally had her hands in the situation or was just, again, whatever. You know what I mean? That's up for argument. That part is just freaky. But again, they're all very professional. And so, again, I also just find it wild that, you know, she comes back, she locks the little thing. She's kind of just smiling like she's, you know, checking out the grocery store. It's just, it's bizarre to me.
And then this here is all the legal paperwork that you had. All right. And then snack for tonight.
Okay.
The broken glasses, they want me to put those in the property, so those are gonna go in there. Okay?
I need those. They're different. They just bring them right here.
Yeah. Okay, any questions? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Bye.
So you heard him say we had to put the broken glasses on the property, and she was like, and just very nice, very cordial, she like, thank you. And I think one thing with her, and especially when we get ready to look at this court appearance, that in my mind, because she lives in a vacuum to me in my mind, I've stopped at this moment, and so I anticipate that to come from her, right? But again, at the end of the day, it's like she's human, she moves on. Like that's one aspect of her life. She's not stuck in that vacuum of, oh my God, this is what happened to the kids. And I guess one thing that I look at with her, like I was saying earlier, where I'm searching her over for something, is does she still believe this stuff? And I feel like she does. She still has that like, where's Chad? Kind of an energy going on there. Now, like I said, let's move over to the hearing that she was at. Okay, so here you see her coming out, smiling. The more she gets down, the bigger that smile gets. And she's looking over, hey girl. She didn't say hey girl, but you know what I'm saying. Sits down, lady next to her gives her a quick smile, and she looks over. Now, we're going to talk about this here in a second. She gets all comfortable. One thing that I have noticed with her in these clips right here is she constantly looks over at what I'm assuming the camera is. I do not know if there's someone that she likes sitting there near the camera, so that's where that eye contact is coming from. But the energy that I got off of this, and again, I am no expert, but as she was walking down from that back room, it was like, I'm on stage. That smile lit up, her makeup's done. She's looking the best she can possibly look. Now, I understand on one level, being in her situation, you're gonna want to look the best you can look. It's court, right? I get that. I'm not trying to fault her for that, but it's still surreal to me. It's also surreal to see the energy she brings of like, hey everybody, I'll be doing autographs after the hearing, okay? In the VIP area. That's the kind of energy she gives to me, and that's what's so, like, any attention is good attention.
Lori Valadega, 6/26/1973.
All right, this is the time set for a complex.
So the way she just said her name, Lori Valadega, 1973. Again, it just feels giddy. It feels excited. It feels I'm on a high kind of a thing. Who talks like that? Does the baby talk in court, right? It's so weird to me. So let's check out the next clip. Now watching this one, all smiles. She's, up at her little attorney there. And one thing I wonder with this, because I never really got a good look at him, is to see if he's like a good looking dude, because she seems to really be turning on the flirtatiousness, the smiles, the leaning into him. So I'm like, is she into him, or is this what she does with all men? It doesn't matter if they're attractive or not, but it's just something that's there. Now again, seeing her close up like this, you can tell she's been working them Skittles. Okay, she's got, she's full glam, right? She's full Skittle glam. However they do their makeup, right? She had been perfecting those Skittles. Again, I get it, you're gonna want to look your best, but it doesn't feel like a regular person who is going to court like, I'm gonna put my best foot forward. It feels more attention grabby from her.
We would ask if we could waive Ms. Nallow's presence at the next CCMC.
Say how position on it.
No, Your Honor.
All right, we'll waive your appearance for the next complex case management conference. We're going to set that for April 24 at 8:30 a.m. We'll note that her presence is waived.
So they've waived her appearance. She doesn't have to show up for the next one, which, I can kind of get that or whatever. But one thing with her that surprised me at her, the last trial that went through, is we did not see an award acceptance speech out of her like we did with Ruby Franke, because they give the same kind of energy. Like when he did that thing right there of like, yeah, we'll let her waive her appearance, I was like, I'm ready for her to stand up and give a speech over this, kind of a thing. Like that's just, they both have that level of absolute self-centeredness that the world revolves around them, and the world thinks that they are some superstar. So in here again, look at her with him. She's leaning into him. Now look at how she looks at the camera, continues to look, in my opinion, at the camera, but she could be looking over. She's laughing. She's doing that little sultry look and leaning into him. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. You know, and that's why I'm like, I can't tell, like, is he good looking? Is she flirting with him? Or is she like this with all men, right? And the way she keeps looking back. Now let's look at this next clip. Same type thing here. So here she is. Now look, lady next to her just gave her an up and down, like, Now see, she's doing that thing. Now look, every time she gets, she's looking over his shoulder. But this time it feels directly at the camera and just smiling at him, getting all the looks in she can get. You know, maybe she's just like, oh, a man. You know what I'm saying? Like a man in a suit. You know, it's been so long. I mean, I don't know. You know, but maybe she's like this with everybody. Maybe it's the Lori factor, right? That she does to manipulate and get her way. I will never not be haunted by her behavior. I will never not be haunted. But again, it's so similar to Ruby Franke and what we saw in the courtroom with her award acceptance speech at sentencing. It's the same level of just, again, I just say any attention is good attention. It does not matter that I am in court for the alleged offing, unaliving of my former husband, Charles, my children, whoever, you know, that doesn't matter. It's the fact that all eyes are on me. That's the most important thing. And that's the energy I get from her. Now, again, I'm nobody. I'm just somebody with a camera and a sofa and a dog that's sleeping in the bed right now. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm some expert in this type of stuff, but it's just that ick factor of it. Now, obviously, this is going to continue to go. I would like to see in this trial, obviously, justice for Charles, right? And I think it will come very swiftly. But then also, if she does her little speech at the end, to see some level of accountability, but I don't think we'll ever get that from her. I mean, the last trial for her children, where she basically just discounted everything at the end, you know, with like, y'all got it wrong. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do this. I'm just like, okay, you know, I want to see, I guess, also at some point, the glazed look leave her and a look of, oh my God, what have I done? Where have I been? What has happened? I have regret. I have sorrow. But again, I don't think at this point that she's capable of that, but I don't know if she ever was. But again, I don't know her personally. So anyways, let me know what y'all think. What do you think is going to be outcome? Whatnot. If you're still watching, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. I would say Roscoe wants you to drop blue sofas off in there, but he's not here. But telepathically, I can assure you he'd want them down in the comment section so that he and I can skip our little way down to the comment section. And until we do skip our way down there, I'll see y'all soon. I just wanted to say thank you again for watching the whole video, and also thank you for being part of the Sofa Squad. Special thanks to all the Patreon members, channel members from both of my channels, everybody who likes, shares, subscribes, comments in the comment sections. It helps the channel out so much. Now, don't forget, I do have that other channel, the podcast channel. That's where we go live, we hang out, we talk. We have kind of sort of a schedule, but just be sure and check it out. I'll put it up here on the screen. Also, if you're looking for merch, be sure to check out my Teespring store. I'll put that up here. And then, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to follow me and Roscoe on the Instagram, go on, check it out. It's right here on the screen again. But once again, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being part of the Sofa Squad, and I'll see you in the next video.